Okay, Q&A Thursdays. For today's question, we've got a good one around the subject of policy backdating. This often is way more confusing than it needs to be, really because the industry makes it confusing. But let's look at our question and provide a thorough answer. So our question is as follows. For a 56-year-old single female earning $100,000 per year, can you explain if I start a policy, can I backdate it 6 months? If so, how does that work? How much money will the insurance company want for 6 months prior to the effective date? Pros, cons of this option, please. Sure. So the topic of backdating, again, is a bit more confusing than it needs to be, but let's look at your specific situation here. So we've got a 56-year-old individual, and today's date when we're shooting this video is December 1st. Birth date is December 10th. So in 10 days, you'll be 57 years old. Today, December 1, you're 56. 10 days, you're going to be 57. Now, your insurance age will be, if you started a policy today, December 1, even though you are physically 56 years old, the insurance company would consider you age 57. The reason why is when an individual is within 6 months of their nearest birthday, that is the age the insurance company considers them. That is your insurance age. So meaning if you started a policy today, December 1, even though you are 56 years old today, you're saying, hey, I'm not 57 yet, your insurance age would be 57 because we are within 6 months of our nearest birthday. So the policy date, so how backdating works is that it allows me to save my insurance age. If you said, no, like I want to start a policy, but I want everything to be based off of my age of 56, a little bit lower insurance expenses, and I'm 56, that's like the age I want, just for that fact alone a lot of times. And that's perfectly fine. So what we would need is a policy date that is 6 months and 1 day prior to your birthday. So if your birth date is December 10th, that means we would need 6 months and 1 day. That would be June 9th of this year, locked in as our policy date in order to save your insurance age of 56. So pros and cons to this, because it's important to be aware of the pros and cons, is the advantage is if you are paying in, let's say $10,000 per year, let's assume year one, you make a $10,000 payment. If you did not backdate, your insurance age would be 57, but when would your start date be? Assuming you started today, it would be December 1. If we backdate the policy, you say, I want to lock in my age of 56. So let's execute backdating. 56. What would happen is to do that, I need what? A policy date of June 9th. So policy year one, even though you make the payment today, December 1, 2020, what happens is the policy date, this is important to be aware of here, is June 9th, 2020. Why it is June 9th is, again, that is 6 months and 1 day prior to your birth date of December 10th. That's the key there. So now you have a policy date of June 9th, 2020. So what happens here is that first $10,000 payment is made. You made the payment today, December 1st, because we can't actually reverse time. That's not possible. But you make the payment December 1. However, it is applied to your policy and with the insurance company as if you made the payment June 9th, 2020. So what that means is you started today, December 1st, but year two actually starts 6 months from when you actually made the payment. So the next $10,000 payment, if that's how much you're paying in, would be due when? June 9th, 2021, even though you started December 1st, 2020. Now, again, we can design a policy to be flexible. So if you said, hey, I don't have the full 10,000 right now. Maybe we set it up where we only commit to 1,500 and you can add the rest over the course of the year. That's where the flexibility is always good to be aware of with a life insurance product, depending on the company and such. But there's some pros and cons to this thing right here. This strategy here is one, the advantage is that I can get 2 payments in, 2 years of payments into the policy in 6 months. What is the worst part of any life insurance policy? The first and second year, where the insurance company is going to overcharge me for the base premium up front. Once I surpass those first 2 years, the premium starts to come back to cash value. Things get better and better, functions very similar to PUA payments. So this allows me to accelerate the first 2 years and get past the ugly part quicker. That's an advantage. The disadvantage, or potential con, is that 6 months later, I have to pay a premium again. If I am not prepared or do not have the finances to do that, if I'm cash flow sensitive and I said, hey, I started the policy, I need a full year before I can make the next payment, well, in that case, 6 months down the road, I can't make the next payment. It's going to be a financial burden or a hardship. It's not for me. That can be a potential drawback. Really depends on your situation in this case. Another drawback here, and this leads into your follow-up question, which had to do with the effective date and what would I actually have to pay. Let's just do it this way. Is if you are paying monthly, and we have this exact same scenario, 10,000 per year. Let's just say instead, for the sake of simplicity, you're paying $1,000 per month. If you are making monthly payments, and we have the exact same scenario, it is December 1 today, you start the policy and you backdate to June. What the insurance company will require is they want months June through the current start date, which would be December, all paid up front. That is 6 months. So in this case, that would be $6,000 up front. And then beginning January, your regular payments of $1,000 would resume. Now, in order to actually backdate a policy, because you may be asking this question and perhaps you have not even started the application process yet, that's perfectly fine. If an application is submitted prior to our birthday, meaning we signed the application with the insurance company or companies we're applying with before our physical birth date comes up, we still have the option to backdate, meaning if you apply today, for example, and you were approved in January or February, you would still have the option to backdate to June. Some people like that. That is consistent in most states. Some states, like Ohio, they're the only one that comes to mind, will only allow you to backdate a maximum of 3 months, not 6 months. So I hope that this helps. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out anytime, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Hey guys, Steve Parisi here. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you'd like more information or to see some custom policies for yourself, feel free to call or email our offices at the contact information below.